Black Sunday. Hey, I can deal with that. Seriously can deal with that. Made by one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. He's the Italian Hitchcock. He's the maestro of Italian horror. Mario Bava. 1960. Black Sunday. The Mask of the Demon, as sometimes it's called. This film is Bava's first that he is credited as a director for. It's basically a reward for helping out old Riccardo Freda. Riccardo Freda and Ivan Piri and Cal Tiki sort of would get started on these projects and he would walk out on them, and Mario Bava started out as a cinematographer and he finished the films. Ivan Piri is one of the classics of Italian horror, sort of the beginning of the Italian horror movement. And Mario Bava was given a chance to direct his first feature film, 1960, and it was Black Sunday. Black Sunday is a remarkable film. It stars Barbara Steele. What I like about Barbara Steele, she's one of the queens of the screams. She appeared in a number of Italian horror films and some of the Roger Corman things too, like Pit and the Pendulum, for instance. One of the things about Barbara Steele that I really like is that she has this face that at once can be quite beautiful, stunning, and at other times just look like evil incarnate. And Mario Bava was able to capture that in his beautiful black and white photography. He did the cinematography on this film as well. This is a stunning, stunning film. If you want to talk about a film that has a funeral parlor beauty, if there is such a thing, this one has it. This is a film that, from the get-go, beautiful high contrast black and white photography, very fluid camera movement. There's a great scene when we go down into the crypt where Barbara Steele's body is housed, and the camera lurks about the corners of the crypt as the two men come down. Frightening, very frightening. There are scenes in here that are etched in nightmare. There's an incredible sequence where the tomb explodes, leaving Barbara Steele sitting there, her chest heaving upon the crypt bed and enticing us to come forward and kiss her lips. Wonderful film. Mario Bava never really got the kind of credit that he deserved. Horror film fans like ourselves, we know him, we love him. Some people call him the Hitchcock of Italian. I think in some ways he was a superior to Hitchcock. I don't want to put Hitchcock down. He was wonderful in his way, obviously, but Bava had a flair for the dark, for the macabre. Black Sunday, for my money, is the best of the Mario Bava films. He made some great other works, Black Sabbath, which we're going to see later on our show, but he never really, I think, captured the feel that he got with Black Sunday. He had a lot of freedom to work with that film. Well, I think that, if you're in the mind to, why don't you give me a little write here on the email? Give me your impression of the things that we are doing. We're very interested in hearing about your impressions about what kinds of products that we're showing, and maybe me. Maybe you don't like me. Maybe you want to see someone else. Maybe you are more interested in the movies themselves and are saying, shut up. Well, that's going to be hard to get me to shut up. Okay, I just happen to sort of come on when the camera comes on. Well, I remember when I first saw Black Sunday. It was a remarkable time in my life. I was quite young. I remember stumbling in, wanting to get a glass of water. And my parents were watching Black Sunday, and I stumbled in at the time where, well, Barbara Steele's decomposed face becomes quite, animated on the screen. And I was very scared. And those images from those early times, well, that's what makes this film sort of stand out for me. When I watch that film, it still has that power to, elicit that sense of the nighttime, the sense of dread. As you watch this, also look for some remarkable camera movement in other scenes. For instance, a great sequence where the family is all sitting around the open hearth, and Barbara Steele is playing the piano, and the camera tracks past a number of different people in the room and comes to her playing this haunting song on the piano. To me, it's one of the great uses of mobile framing I don't want to put Mario Bava maybe in the same category as Orson Welles with mobile framing, but certainly that scene harkens to things out of Touch of Evil, particularly the crane shot that we find at the beginning of Touch of Evil.